What a face. He had that face on all last night during that show. Look at him. What a happy guy. He doesn't have to make any more caramel lattes for any Ugg boot wearing white girls. Look at him. He's a
happy man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. The man to my left is Dr. Don Wayne. You know him. You love him from Twitter Spaces. And he's very famous for those. And he's the neckbeard psychologist from Twitter, helping all the Cheetos sexuals deal with their mad love Jones for Megan Bain now. And Penelope Ford.
Bottles.
Yes, sir. What's that say, pal? His time is now.
I was a heel the whole time. You're just now figured out. You thought it was Bottles was the heel. I'm the heel. Cody Rhodes is going down.
He's the heel.
He's going down.
Don thinks Cody Rhodes is going to lose that belt at WrestleMania.
It's over.
I don't think he is.
Here, as they say.
I don't think he is. I think they're going to milk another match out of this.
Got my brand new John Cena shirt. It says John Cena Final Farewell Tour.
The last time
I ordered it weeks ago. I knew it was coming. It's go time, Bottles.
Would you wear that in public? Would you wear that on a trip to the 7-Eleven or to the liquor store? I'm going to wear
this bitch to work tomorrow.
What's that?
I'm going to wear it to work tomorrow.
Enjoy that.
When my boss says, "What are you doing?" I'm going to say, "You can't see me."
You can't see me. I'm not here. You can't see me.
Yeah, but you are here.
No, I'm not here. You can't see me.
Thanks for joining, everybody. Like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. We got a few things to get through. I don't know if this is going to be a packed show, but we do got to talk about some in-depth stuff. That show last night on AEW was disheartening is the best way I can probably put that AEW show. Really disheartening.
Your feelings were hurt?
No, it's not that. It's just I'm not into human mutilation, dude. I don't give a shit what you do in a wrestling match, but the human mutilation aspect I've never been into. When Mick Foley used to do some of his crazy stunts, I wasn't the biggest fan. As I've gotten older, I realize how dangerous this shit really is.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're young and stupid, you're like, it's the coolest thing ever. You get older, you're like, ooh, that was some cringy shit I used to watch. I used to watch Faces of Death when I was a teenager. I look back and go, what was I doing to my poor mind at that age?
I remember I went to a Blockbuster Video and I rented Faces of Death. I'm wondering, what the hell is this? This looks great. This could be the best VHS tape we've ever watched. I stuck it in and me and my buddy were just sitting there and there was some restaurant over in like Zanzibar.
The monkey scene.
The monkey scene where they had a monkey, a live monkey. They stuck his head through a hole in the table and shoved the table together, and he was stuck. He couldn't move.
Yes.
Hanging there by his head. And then a waiter came by. Didn't the waiter cut the top of his head open?
No, they beat him with a hammer first.
They beat him with a hammer. You would beat the monkey with a hammer. And a lot of you people out there who are AEW fans know how to beat your monkey. They're beating your monkey with a hammer even. And then they would come over and remove the top of the monkey's head and hand you like a little scalpel type knife.
Yep.
And you would like slice the monkey brains.
All right, we're getting too in depth. Just they ate the brains. We're going to leave it at that.
And dump it on your Ritz cracker. It goes great in a hot pocket. Yes.
Horrible.
Faces of Death, folks. Look it up. I'm sure you can download it illegally somewhere on the internet. From 1980. It's a documentary. Cannibals, cats and dogs living together.
Don't watch it.
Monkey brains.
Let's talk about SmackDown.
Let's talk about SmackDown.
Not a whole lot from SmackDown. Like we said, it's been a 3-hour dredge just to get through it. The highlight, of course, were a couple of spots. To me, it's stealing the show, of course, was Cody Rhodes' promo. I thought it was fire. I thought he brought it. I don't want to talk about it because it was a week ago, but it was great. The part that did get my attention.
I like the fact, before you go on, I like the fact he's not saying, so, San Diego, what do you want to talk about? He's out and taking care of business. He's getting down to business. This could go anyway. This could go either way, this whole thing with him and Cena. You don't know what direction this is going to take. But I remember I told you this week how they got it all wrong for WrestleMania. I told you that in a confidential phone call.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Yes. Here's my issue, though, on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Uso, he's on the other one, right? Yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy's on SmackDown.
He's challenging LA Knight, and he says, I want a shot at your U.S. Tag Team title. Can we just Dude, I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry, man. The Usos, when they get apart from each other, it's not working for me, man, on any level when they're not together. I didn't care for them particularly much as a tag team. They got over because of the bloodline. I've never been a huge fan of the Usos, and it's just getting worse by the week at this point in time for me.
The sum of the two Usos is greater than the separated parts of the two Usos. Meaning they're better together than they are apart.
Yes. But I would like to get a shot at your U.S. tag team title.
Well, he's used to challenging for tag team titles, so he's not used to challenging for an individual belt. So this is something new for Jim. Big Jim, as they call him. Big Jim. I wonder how he got that name. Got to ask
It reminded me when Andre the Giant gave Ted DiBiase the title, and I said, "I relinquish the tag team championship to you," or something.
Oh!
It was so bad. So I want to talk about that real quick. But the big news this week, the off the chain news was Raw.
Yes. Yes.
By the way, Raw did 3 million last week again, so they're back up to 3 million on a regular. I can't wait to see what this number is going to be. By the way, they're supposed to be in India the first week or two of April, so it's going to explode then.
Well, a lot of people are saying it was 3.1. It was 3.1. It was 3.1 last week.
Right.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Streaming, folks, it takes about 5-6 days for the actual streaming number to come out. Just ask AEW.
We're still waiting, Max. The best part about this, though, for me personally,
go ahead.
I didn't know where Cena was going to come out at. And this was the big news, was the John Cena promo. I didn't know when he was coming out. I didn't know if he was coming out first, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And they kicked it off right away with him. They're in Belgium. Yep. Belgium crowd. Mm-hmm. I know you get tired of the European crowds. I love them. By the way, Americans, they're putting us to shame. I know they don't get this all the time, but my God, was this off the hook right out the gate. They got loud, right? When his music hit, it was really loud. Sure. It's the same music, and it was loud.
I think they were singing Inagata de Vida. They were chanting along to that. I'm not sure what they were chanting. They were chanting something. It was crazy. All these European crowds are off the chart because they're starved for live professional wrestling.
Yes, they are.
And WWE's giving it to them. This could be an AEW crowd. You could bring AEW to Belgium. You could bring AEW Belgium to the Unwed Mothers Association down in downtown Brussels. And they could put on a little show there in front of 80 people.
Put on a little show, will you? Put on a little show for me. Get out there and
I don't think the Belgian people sound Irish.
I'm doing an Irish guy in Belgium. Get over it.
Jesus Christ. Jean-Claude Odam.
That's him.
Yes.
That's my cousin.
Jean-Claude Odam.
I wanted to see if you caught this because I watched it live, then I watched it with my wife and my son to see what their reaction was. But the crowd went nuts when he first walked out. Well, with the music hit, when he actually walked from behind the screen, the place lit up like the 4th of July. They absolutely blew the roof off. My wife was like, "Ooh, they're mad." And then when he showed up, she said, "Oh, they're really mad." I said, "Honey, it's going to be good. Just give it a minute. He's about to cook this whole room."
This was over 30 minutes.
Yes.
Over 30 minutes of just John Cena commanding the ring and going off on everybody. He put on a master class. The acting, I don't know if he's taking acting lessons or he's just winging it. I'm sure he's getting advice from other actors or movies that he works with in Hollywood. But Cena is the goods when it comes to an adversarial promo where he's giving someone a bunch of shit. And basically what he did was he gave the fans who supported him for 20 years a raft of shit. Because you didn't really care about him.
Well, here's my thing. Do you realize this segment was a fifth of the show total? It was a fifth of the entire show was this one segment.
Dude, without commercials, that show was only an hour and 49 minutes.
Well, they had to save all the commercials for the back end because they had this segment up first. When 20% of your show is dedicated to just two guys, I mean, dude, that's amazing how he did this. So I want to talk about the promo.
In front of a crowd, let me ask you this question. We never even talked about this. Do the people in Belgium also, I know they're French, they speak French. Do they also speak English? Because all those signs out there were written in English.
I'm sure they speak, a lot of them do, because they're wrestling fans. A lot of the wrestling fans probably do have a good grasp of English.
Yeah.
The best part was them just they're going crazy. He gets in the ring, and I want to see if you caught, they're just booing the shit out of him, man. They're coming unglued, and he puts the mic down and gets ready to leave. And then, dude, that wasn't just, we're going to boo you to boo you. It was like, bitch, you better say something. You better start talking. Like, they were ready to riot. If he'd have left that ring without saying anything, I believe they would have had to police escort him home or onto the way to the airport. Seriously, dude, that was real, genuine heat when he got ready to leave. They were going through the roof.
But no one threw anything into the ring. It's not like Hogan turned and they bombarded the ring with trash for the next 6 months every time he appeared. It's not like that. Who do you think got more heat for his heel turn, Hogan or Cena? Had to be
No,
Hogan.
it was Hogan.
Yeah.
It was Hogan. Hogan, but again, this is
this generation. This is this generation's Hulk Hogan.
Yes, it is. I would
John
agree.
Cena. Yes. And they're not
By the way-
exactly. They would throw their phones and not throw trash. By the way, folks, please give us a like and subscribe. Reach down below and hit the little notification bell, as we call it, the ding-a-ling. Give us a ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling. Give us a thumbs up with the video. It helps us move along the YouTube algorithm. We're stuck, folks, at 1,000.
Well, we're going to get past that because I think we figured some things out.
We're trying to get past it, and we're trying to make the slow climb right now to 1,100. We're just trying to make it 1,100, folks.
I'm not going to reveal the curtain, but we figured out some things that were happening with our channel. We weren't really happy about it, and we've changed some things. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of the old school that we do this show. Anyway, he's in the ring. By the way, Super Chat's open. He's in the ring, and he tells the crowd, and this is what got me. He says, "You get nothing. You get nothing from me. You don't get a new change of wardrobe. You don't get new music. You don't get any of that. You get nothing."
Why do you say that?
Because the internet marks were going crazy. I wonder if he's going to come out with his old music. Oh, that would be so cool. What if he came out in Stuckanomics gear? Oh, man, that'd be righteous, right? What if he did this? Oh, that'd be cool, too. He did none of that.
I feel like I just watched a wrestling episode of South Park with all those voices.
But he did it. He gave the crowd exactly what they didn't want, and they booed the shit out of him, and I thought it was tremendous. He cooked the crowd. He called them bums. He said they were a toxic relationship
It's like being in a toxic relationship with someone. Yes. And what about the little fat boy in the crowd?
I was going to talk about that. He said, "You're the only guy that's innocent in all of this." And that kid was like, "Oh, shit." I love this guy, and he's roasting my ass.
Roasting.
I thought this was tremendous. He was out there forever. He was getting ready to leave. I mean, he just went off, man. He just had a hell of a promo. He had a hell of a time. I enjoyed this. And then Cody Rhodes came out, and they blew the roof off again for him, cheering him, singing his song from the top of their lungs. I know you're not a huge fan of Cody, but I'm going to give credit where it's due. I honestly believe the level of the opponent that he gets is also the level of stagemanship that he gets to put on. I really believe this now.
I'm not a fan of Cody I'll give you 4 reasons why. He's good at chasing the belt, but once he's got the belt, okay, what do we do next? He's got to have an uber heel to go up against. Not guys like Grayson Waller or Austin Theory. He's got to have an uber heel. And they created an uber heel now with John Cena. Let's see how.
Let me ask you, whose fault is that? That's the job of creative, Bottles. That's
the job of creative, pal. You're exactly right.
Look what they've done with LA Knight. They flopped around like a fish out of water for the last 3 months.
They need a heel that's going to go and do something tremendously heinous to go up against your uber babyface. An uber heel versus an uber babyface. And Cody Rhodes right now is the new John Cena. He's that guy. And what do you do with the John Cena that we had before? He's laying in the toy trunk at the foot of your bed in your bedroom. Pull him out, dust him off. He's going to be uber heel John Cena.
It's great so far. It's great so far.
Only thing that would have made a great dichotomy between the two is if Cena's gear was all black.
No, I like him. I
black
like him.
Socks, black shoes, black.
No, I'm going to disagree I'm going to disagree. I like him coming out in colorful clothes still, being a complete jackass to everybody. I thought it was tremendous. Cody cut a hell of a promo, and he said, "You're out here whining like a little bitch. I don't want to face this John Cena. I want to face the old John Cena, the guy where hustle, loyalty, and respect, and he never gave up." And he left.
We've got, 3.5 weeks towards Mania? Until Mania?
Thanks, Beer, for the
Beer
$100, man. We appreciate you. Glad you're here, brother.
$100.
I know it's $100.
$100. That's $100 from Beer Man.
Thank you, Beer Man. We appreciate it.
Thank you for the Milwaukee's best, Beer Man. The $1 Milwaukee's best.
This I thought was tremendous. I loved all of it. Absolutely fire. Cody left, and the crowd then booed the shit out of Cena because he didn't fire back, which, by the way, you don't have to have a tit for tat, and AEW has done this too much lately,
right,
where they have 4 segments where they're talking to each other for 4 different segments. Just get it out one time, both say something, maybe twice, and you go home from there. This was brilliant. I loved everything about this.
He just walked away. Didn't say a word. He didn't give the crowd what they wanted, a rebuttal to Cody Rhodes.
Right.
He didn't even give Cody what Cody wanted. He just looked at him, dropped the mic, and just strolled away, which was, I'm thinking, is this it? Is he going to come back later in the show? What's going on here? So, supposedly, Cena's going to be on SmackDown. That's what I hear. Do you think Monster Jam, it's like WWE, but with monster trucks? Rabbit Wolverine LC Killer 17. That's quite a moniker you got there, pal. Thanks for the 5 spot. Are you saying, do we like Monster Jam? Instead of, do you think Monster Jam?
Clarify, sir. We'll put you back up there to
clarify. Yeah, so we'll put it back up there. I used to like the Bigfoot, the monster trucks, and all that crap. In fact, the former Alundra Blaze, Medusa Michelli. What was that truck she drove? She was
I can't remember, but I actually saw her in the Coliseum here probably 10 years ago. I took my son to a couple of shows. It's a good time, man. Beer.
Yeah.
What the hell, Beer Man?
I'm not clicking them in that chat. They're running their own show again. I'm not.
Thank you, Beer Man, for the $1.
Is it another $1? Or is it the same dollar?
It's a different dollar. Thank you.
We're going little by little. You got a beer and I got a beer for the Beer Man. Perfect.
Well, thank you. We each got one. Yes. So I did enjoy this. I thought it was great. The other part of the show that got my attention was Rhea Ripley.
I like that logo. What do you get that? Look at that logo. He's got that icon.
Yeah.
NXT on CW. I like that.
Yeah.
Who was that? Is that Jada Parker? Who is it on there? Oh, Roxanne Perez, I think it is. I don't know. I can't see it. It's got to blow it up a little bit. Can you tell what that is, Don?
Dude, it's a car. Can we
move on? Yes, Don. Move on.
Yeah. The Rhea Ripley segment, right?
Yes.
The girls are signing the contract.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, man, I can see this Bianca heel turn coming. A little by little, the attitude is there. The one thing that I think Bianca struggles with is when she's out there on her own, having to spit the lines out versus actually just coming from the heart. When she comes off the cuff, I think she's brilliant. They say it's Roxanne and Trick bottles.
Roxanne and Trick. That's good. Have you seen the videos that she puts up on Twitter in her feed and also Montez Ford's
Who,
feed?
Bianca?
Yes. Her and
no,
her
I don't
husband.
see him.
You don't see her? Dude, she's running
Well, you
around
have to point him out next time.
She's trying on she makes her own ring clothes. She's trying on fabric, putting her on little ring clothes. She's got it's blonde highlights in her hair. Blonde highlights in her hair. Her hair's shoulder length. When you see her on TV, she's got those wisps of hair to hang down to here, and then the long pigtail in the back. Medusa's truck should be called Butterface. That's hard times, Brother Fluff. That's hard times.
Harsh, man. Harsh.
But thanks for the fin, pal. Thanks for the fin, pal. The F stands for fluff and fin. Medusa's
appreciate it so much.
Medusa's whole face now looks like Missy.
I'm not doing this. I'm not
very
doing this.
leathery. But go ahead,
pal.
Everybody ages, pal. Everybody
gets
old,
talk
pal.
about the show.
Anyway, Bianca Belair should adopt the look when she turns heel that she has on her private Twitter, Instagram, and with her husband. The blonde hair, the shoulder length.
She's got to drop the hair when she goes heel, right? And she's got to drop that long.
Somebody's got to cut that off. I'm surprised they haven't had a hair versus hair match.
Hair versus hair match. That'd be awesome.
Why not? Cut that off.
Well, she's got to be
the person that cuts that off will be the biggest heel If she's still a baby
Don't be the biggest face because she'll be a heel. Anyway, I want to get back to this. They do the contract signing and Rhea Ripley's music hits.
Sure.
And she comes out and she's pissed and the GM's there and he's trying to stop all of this. And they all the girls get into it. Rhea Ripley power bombs them both onto the table. You could see the table was supposed to break, but it never gave. It wasn't gimmicked, I guess, enough because she damn sure threw her down hard enough to break that table. And Bianca was already laying on it. Then she picked up the contract and signed her name. And this is where, as a wrestling fan, you sort of got to suspend your disbelief. I get it. She wasn't actually booked to be in the thing. You can't do it that way. I didn't mind it. I thought it was inventive. I thought it was fun. I like what she did. I'm stealing the contract. It's essentially what she said. And my name's on it too. So we're going to get our three-way. They had another altercation backstage again. And I hate to say it out loud, but Rhea Ripley next to Io Sky looks utterly ridiculous, man. It really does.
Well, in matchups like that, pal, it's, the brawn versus the little plucky, short, fast-moving baby face who flies around the ring. That's probably why I see if it was going to be Bianca versus Rhea, did they think it was going to be a boring-ass match, and that's why they had to put Io in the mix?
I don't think so. I think they just want to get Bianca to get to that heel level, and they feel like Io can sort of have a good match, and that's sort of where we're at, is they want to do something with Io. They want to give her moment. Somebody is obviously fascinated with her.
Or
Ashton Chevalier, we're going to get to MJF in a minute, but yes, he is hitting that tanning bed too much because that was horrible looking.
It looks like he's been dipped in caramel. But if Jade Cargill is doing her own investigation and running all around, beating up Naomi and all this other BS, what happens if Jade Cargill comes out, interferes in this match? Because she doesn't have a match, really. It's never been announced, Jade versus Naomi for WrestleMania. You know what's going to happen, but it's not been announced. It's coming. What if she jumps into this match and beats the hell out of what if in the middle of the Jade versus Naomi match, Naomi screams, Bianca put me up to it. Bianca told me to do it.
No.
She comes out for this match and beats the hell out of Bianca. Bianca turns heel. She's out of that match, hurt, can't go on.
Dude, you are running down aisleways right now. I'm trying to rein you in like a baby deer. You're running down aisleways.
Pal, I may be running down the aisleways, but who told you 2 months ago it was going to be a three-way for the women's title?
I believed you then. I hoped it wasn't, but I believed you. My point in this is just this simple. I think Naomi screws over the other people and helps out Bianca in the final match. That's what I think happens. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca didn't help Naomi win her match. Therefore, you set up the whole backlash thing. I sort of feel like that's where it's going. That's where I think it's going. It's one of those two ways. Maybe both. So
I don't like what I'm hearing.
But
I don't like what I'm hearing.
Well, it's going to happen that way. Naomi's going to help Bianca.
Bianca. You say that like
that's how it's going to happen.
Say that like the Orange Man in the White House. Bianca, China, Bianca.
The other part of this was the Jey Uso top dollar moment.
He said he's going to do it again this coming Monday, Don. He's going to get over that top rope.
Oh, my God, man. It was so cringe. Don't do it again. Don't do it again, please.
He's a good hand in the ring, Don.
Dude, his wrestling is just getting worse and worse. I don't give a shit, man. I tried to hang with this. I get that his entrance is over. I get that the crowd loves him. The live crowd absolutely loves him. I get that. I don't understand.
He's not winning that belt.
What? Well, here's the thing. I think he is, but what if after all of this, because he has not done himself any favors in the ring. Am I wrong there?
You're not wrong at all. He's horrible in the ring.
So what happens if after all this, front office goes, you know what? This really isn't working the way we had hoped.
Exactly. The reason why they're doing this is they want that big moment at WrestleMania where Allegiant Stadium, everybody's on their feet, throwing their hands in the air.
Get that drone shot,
yelling yeet, yeet, yeet. It's going to get 1 billion views on social media all around the globe, all around the bend and all the major platforms. He's not going to win the belt because they're going to sit when Ilya Dragunov is on his way back. And I guarantee you they're going to run the Dragunov versus Gunther matches. They're going to do a series of matches for the belt between those two guys, and those will blow the roofs off these arenas all around the world.
Bottles, I really hope you're right. I just don't see them not putting the belt on. I just don't see
It's not about him getting a belt. It's about the moment. It's about the presentation. It's about the moment. That's what it's all about. When he doesn't win the belt, Rikishi will say, he ought to go to AEW. like Rikishi
We'll
has said before.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. However, we do have an issue on this show, and it's one Finn Balor. And I don't know what the hell's going on with that guy, but I can't remember the last match he won. I can't remember the last time he had a match where, like you said earlier this week, I didn't already know the outcome of the match. It's just getting monotonous at this point in time with that guy.
He's AEW level right now, where you see matches on AEW, and you think, well, he's winning, they're winning, he's winning, she's winning, he's winning. And you can predict it right away. When you see Balor in a match against a guy like Braun Breaker or anybody, you know he's not winning nothing. He's not going to win. And I fast-forwarded through this entire thing just to see who won at the very end. There's shenanigans or anything like that. Because you knew Balor was not winning an Intercontinental title.
No, he wasn't.
No.
They weren't going to do another title swap on another television show. Which, by the way, I wanted to ask you this. Because they're getting so much money from TV contracts and Netflix, I don't really think it matters now that they swap titles on TV. I think that's just part of the agreement now. Like, you got to do it a couple of times a year, because for the longest time, they were never doing it. And it can't just be, okay, well, then we'll swap the tag titles. I'm like, no, you got to swap some major titles on our shows now. We're tired of not ever getting it. It's all going to Peacock. And I sort of get that from a producer standpoint. If you're working for USA, or if you're working for Netflix, I'm paying you how many hundreds of millions of dollars? Do something, dance, boy. Do what I need you to do.
Well, they already did it with Ripley and Sky. They did it.
No, I know.
Raw.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Sky won the women's title and the Raw title. And I don't know. You got a good point.
Dance
there.
for me, wrestler. Dance for me.
You got a good point there. They need something of the level of Goldberg versus Hogan. Remember
Which
that?
was free TV. For those of you who aren't old enough, the Hogan versus Goldberg moment was absolutely pissed away on free TV in Atlanta, Georgia, to make the company look good in front of the executives. It had nothing to do with business at all.
Man.
They just wanted to show the executives what a 30,000 seat arena looked like with wrestling on the card, because they'd never seen it.
And people screaming at the top of their lungs. That crowd was so hot for that match. It was ridiculous.
Well, can you imagine? You're like, do you want to go to WCW Night Show? Sure. Who's wrestling? Goldberg and Hogan for the world title? What? They're not putting this on a pay-per-view? No, man, that shit's on cable. Okay, put me in it.
Back in those days, they built stars. A lot of these companies now can't build stars. They can't get those kind of moments. The Jey Uso thing is they built him into a star because of the entrance and because of the yeet. And they're going to get that big moment at WrestleMania. Whether he wins the belt remains to be seen, but I don't think he will.
Okay.
If he does win the belt, Don, the next night Gunther will get it back, depending upon what night it is.
Okay.
That following Monday on Raw, Gunther will get the belt back.
I want to,
or
we've got a month to go, which, by the way, I think it sucks that it's the middle of April, but it is what it is. By the way, thank you all for watching. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button. Super chat's open. You guys got something to say about AEW last night? Get to it, because here it comes.
What's that?
AEW time, pal. Dude, and I didn't have a lot of notes.
We didn't talk about on SmackDown the one thing, the Tiffy time Charlotte Flair pull apart, the big brawl.
Yeah,
did we mention that at all?
No, you go ahead.
Huge brawl between Tiffy and Charlotte Flair. What's that? What'd you say?
They had a pull apart
brawl, and they try to redo that on AEW. Did you notice that?
Yes.
They try to do that on AEW. They try to.
I saw a lot of repeats on AEW this week. I was going to bring that up.
Where they're copying from WWE.
Yeah, it was a lot of screwy shit going on there.
They're trying to do whatever they can, pal. They're trying to do whatever they can.
Well, what they did, Johnny Boy.
Yes, sir.
They did 658,000. They still couldn't beat NXT. But I'll say this much. The week-over-week average is going back up. They've gained 5 weeks in a row. This show, I don't know what's going to happen next week, but it can't. I don't see how it's going to increase.
It can't be this. It can't
after
be this.
They're maiming the shit out of people. And I can't see the TBS executives going, huh, that was really good. You should do more of that. I don't get it. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but 658,000 people watch this. 2,183 tickets were distributed in a building that holds 4,000, so they filled it halfway up. Mm-hmm. Tip your hat. Keep going to the smaller venues because it sounds better. That's just my opinion on what I saw initially.
That crowd was still quiet last night.
I thought they were pretty loud, Bottles. I didn't think it was.
Maybe it was poorly mic'd, but I heard boos.
What was poorly mic'd was every segment backstage.
But I didn't see a lot of people standing up and making any kind of noise. Generally, if someone's booing, you would see people booing or people cheering, hands in the air, and along those lines. But I didn't see a lot of that going on. Maybe the front row. There was a lot of men there that looked like they've never touched a woman before, standing in the front row, eating juju beads and drinking beer. And
you know what else they showed?
What's that?
Some asshole had a WWE Raw title, and it got on TV one time, and I think once or twice, and somebody said, hey, you can't be showing that shit up here. He held that shit up midway through the show, proud as a peacock, and I screamed at my TV, they're doing it. How do you let this guy come in the building with that belt is my question. I'm dead ass serious.
He could have been wearing the belt underneath his coat when he walked in and then popped it off.
They pat you down at these things. Also, you got to go through a metal detector.
They pat you down. Oh, what's that? That's my championship belt. Look at it. Oh, okay, no problem. They don't know if it's AEW, WWE. They didn't care. The guy,
well, you might be onto something.
The minimum wage mook at the metal detector could care less as to what belt he's wearing, as long as he doesn't have a knife, a gun, glass, rockets, fireworks, whatever. Oh, you're wearing a belt from another company? Okay, well, you can go ahead, sir. That's fine. That's no big deal.
Here's what I noticed on Max on this recording, because I always started about 20 minutes late. Mm-hmm. It recorded on Max this week. Last week it recorded on TBS, and you and I both have a theory. Mm-hmm. We think that they're switching over to Max to get those numbers up and to make the Max viewing look better than it actually is.
If the Max
How about a four-way? Go ahead.
Mark K with a 5 spot. How about that 4-way match on AEW? It was Gully versus Blanca Julia versus Blanca versus Dalism versus Ryu from Street Fighter. He's talking He's talking about the 4-way match with
I know. Yeah. And we're going to get there real quick. My
Ryu
God.
from Street Fighter.
Oh, you can stroke it. Oh, you can. Those are the sounds of my childhood.
Oh,
I always like the stroking. I was like, somebody is a sick pervert at this game company putting some shit out called stroking in it.
That's probably a Japanese word for come on.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Something.
But yeah, I just said it's recorded on Max.
Look at that smiling face. Look at that smiling face of that thumbnail. Look at that smiling face he's got there. Bringing the hate on Twitter. There he is, Mark.
But like we both said, we think it's because the HBO Max numbers are not well. And
they're
I
not
think
good at all.
That's how they're trying to get. Yeah.
If they were good, Don, Dave Meltzer would be saying, hey, what about those Max numbers? He'd be all over that.
No, you want to know who would be saying, look at those Max numbers? Would be the executives at the Max company. Look at our amazing streaming numbers. But they don't. But they advertise their basketball numbers every week. They'll tell you how many people watch that between the two of them.
And people are saying, well, the NBA numbers are fantastic, Mr. Zaslav. What about those AEW numbers? What? AEW,
my phone's going out. I got bad reception. Here's my question to you. Did you notice that they showed Orange Cassidy's overall record when he came out?
I could care less about that. I fast-forwarded through the entrances. No, but I heard Jane come in. I say, here he comes. And he's just walking around doing the little.
Thank you again, Mark. We appreciate it.
Doing the limp-wristed, knuckles, bumping knuckles with people. I just fast-forward through that. The show's long enough. The show's long enough, Don.
I'm bringing this up because they don't show it for everybody. Like, it's so random when they show it. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's not there. They're not showing it. And then suddenly they show his record. And then the next guy, they don't show it. I don't understand what the hell they're doing because they did it again later in the show.
The matches are random. The promos are random. The outcomes are random. The talent's random. The questions that Shivani and Baguette asked the help. The talent backstage, it's all random. It doesn't make any sense.
You should randomly read this message from Ashen Chevalier. Thank you, Ashen
Chevalier. The Canadian 5. Street Fighter, that gives me an idea. AEW should bring in Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he and Tony can ski the White Mountain together. Here we go. It's coming.
Did you see the tweet from, what's his name from Raw? He was in the faction. He has the hot chick that was his valet forever. God, why is his name escaping me?
Karrion Kross?
Karrion Kross. He put out a tweet and said, I'm on the streets looking for Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I saw that.
And an hour later, he put up there, I found him. Shit's going to get real now. I thought that was amazing, man. I don't know. Look, and I'm glad we're going to give this a little pause here, but Karrion Kross right now is more over in my eyes than he's ever been in his entire career. I love everything that guy's doing right now. And I just want to take a minute to say, hey, I like this guy. I get why they're giving him another run. He's absolutely brilliant in this role.
You could also take Karrion Kross and turn him face anytime you wanted to. You could have him take on somebody who's of questionable stature and character.
And demeanor.
And wrestle that guy. Then he gets jumped by the bloodline. He gets hooked up in the ropes, and they're going to whack him with a chair. And Scarlett runs backstage and does a Miss Elizabeth. Remember when Macho Man was tied up in the ropes? She ran backstage. Who did she grab? She grabbed Hulk Hogan and brought him out. She can run back there and get Cody Rhodes and drag him out. And then you have a friend for life and Karrion Kross and Cody Rhodes turn Kross face. For my money, I think they got too many heels on SmackDown and not enough over baby faces. Give Kross, make him a baby face, give him something to do. He can talk. The wrestling, well, when the bell rings, he's a little lackluster in that respect.
I like
because
his
he hasn't
wrestling
really showed what he
style.
can do.
He's a brawler. I like brawlers.
He's a brawler.
I like
right.
brawlers. That's my thing. He's a big guy. He's a brawler. So back to AEW. Out comes Orange Cassidy. I said, I'm already going to hate this shit. I'm already going to hate this match with everything in me because nothing this jackass does makes me ever want to watch him. Then out comes the newest member of the Clown Car, Speedball Mike Bailey. And I said,
hello.
Here we go again.
My feet are dirty.
Karate guy.
Hello.
I said, I can't do this. Here we go.
Mr. Miyagi.
I wrote down, this can't be real. And then fat ass Mark Davis comes through the screen. I said, oh, God.
Barrel ass Mark Davis. Oh my God!
Mark Davis.
I saw him walk out. I say he's really been into the cheeseburgers this week. I said to myself, look at him.
Good.
Look at
God,
him.
this guy.
I know we're fat, but we're not paid to be professional wrestlers, pal. We're not paid to have muscle and abs and things like that. This guy is just heinous.
And then Ricochet came out, and I said, what is this? What in the hell did I do to get this nonsensical fatal four-way from hell itself? And I'm going to have to watch this.
Because the winner faces Kenny Omega, pal, at Dynasty for that international title.
Did they start this tournament last week with Speedball Mike Bailey going up against
Speedball Mike Davis?
Yeah, that guy. Speedball Bailey.
Screwball Mark Davis versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
Here's the thing. Didn't he go up against the Taurus guy last week? It wasn't that the first round? Isn't that what they said? So we had
that's what they said.
Tournament matches with these guys, and then we just get
nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the shit?
They meant nothing. They just threw it all together. Speedball Mike Bailey is the what can you say about this guy's the new toy? So naturally he's going to go ahead.
I'm glad you brought this up. I'm glad you brought this up. No, I want to ask you this. Did it occur to you, or did it look like to you that Pockets had boo-boo face going up against Bailey at moments in this match where he just tried to completely clown him, which is not what Orange Cassidy has ever been known for. But it looked like he had sourpuss face when he did the stupid karate. He literally made fun of his karate gimmick halfway through the match.
Sure he did. The luster's off of Orange Cassidy right now. The luster's off of Cassidy. He's a 1982 Battleborg toy when the newest Power Rangers toys have come out. So the Battleborg toy, the Beetleborg toy, whatever the hell they were, goes in the bottom of the toy chest. Let's go and buy these new Power Ranger toys. Mike Bailey's a new Power Ranger toy. Cassidy is old news, and unfortunately, that's what happens when you're old news.
He looked like he had serious boo-boo face, and I noticed it when they did that fake kick bullshit segment, which I don't know why. Why is this still a thing 6 years later? Why is this still being allowed on TV after all this time? Can you imagine, like the WWE, right? It gets stale once you do the same shit over and over again. Do they not recognize in AEW the same thing has set in? If you thought this was funny or cool 6 months ago or 6 years ago, you don't think it's cool anymore. Why are you still doing the same gimmick?
I got to admit, I did chuckle watching him do that faster kick thing to Mike Bailey. I did chuckle at that because he did a little faster. But you are right. It is stale. The whole promotion's stale. All the matches are stale. The talent's stale. He doesn't know how to cycle through the talent that he's got. I don't understand any of this stuff. Johnny TV, John Morrison, I don't understand why John Morrison's not used in AEW. He's a hell of a hand. He's a great wrestler.
He's back. He's back.
Yeah, he's back, but he's going to face Bandito. He probably won't collision.
No, that's about his level, though. Let's be honest.
What's that, Morrison? Because they don't do anything with the man. They don't push him. They don't do anything. We got to sign John Morrison. This is great. What are you going to do with him?
He's 83. What are you going to do with him?
83.
Yeah.
He's probably 43 now. John Morrison is not he's not an old man.
Well, then he feels like he's been here since the whole thing started. I thought I saw him in WWF in the 80s. He's been around forever.
For Christ's sake.
Yeah.
That's true. It was
the Iron Sheik's version. It's I humble you, baby. I humble you.
Oh, Bubba.
I humble you.
Oh, Johnny, anyway, Bubba, you got the medicine.
Back to this shit show. I had some glitching during the entire show. You said you didn't, so I guess it's just the max feed. Ping Pong gets on the broadcast about a third of the way through this match. This was a theme throughout the night. Random ass guys showing up and doing broadcasting on the spot. And he was like,
Mark Davis is taking care of my light work in there. He's taking care of getting everything ready for me.
Breathing like a psychopath, and it doesn't sound good, and it doesn't sound witty. I said, I don't give a shit. And Mark Davis, did you see the running shoulder block where Orange Cassidy literally jumped in the air like he punched him in the stomach? It was the worst looking shit. I'm telling you, man, Cassidy had some awful moments in this match.
Because he wasn't trying. He knew what the outcome was going to be. He wasn't going to win. And, he's putting these guys over. So
I said, this is a garbage dump of a match. And we get a trash ass double pin victory to start the show.
On barrel ass Mark Davis. And Ricochet had his feet up on the top rope for leverage.
Yes, where Karate Man, and by the way, the 1 count had already happened. Did you catch that? When he came flying in, the 1 count had already happened. Look, I get it. If you want to do a double pin, it can be done, but this ain't the way to do it, in my opinion. That's just me. I've seen it work in the WWE, and it was cool, but they just did this double pinfall a few months ago, remember?
Yeah.
Little too soon to the well.
Because somebody doesn't remember. Someone doesn't remember what they did 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Well, you might be onto something there.
There's no continuity involved here whatsoever. The people that the person that books this promotion is addled by a lot of different substances.
Allegedly.
Maybe he's taking too much
this is where it gets even better. We get a Logan Paul show promo on Max commercials for you to watch the WWE's wrestler. And I said, talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Here's our AEW product. By the way, here's our competition. Please watch our show on Max. What is going on?
It could have been a great commercial.
Running Max.
They could have ran a commercial for WrestleMania on the Peacock. The people running Max are the same people running TBS and TNT. Hey, pay us enough money. We'll promote whatever you got. We need the money. Money. Dude. I heard that if the Superman movie is a bomb that's coming out in July, they're going to shut the whole thing down. They're going to shut everything off. It's over.
Well, when your stock's down to like $6, I mean, it's not doing real well.
Greg F. says, buy Max. Buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Greg F. says, buy Warner Brothers Discovery, Johnny.
Thank you. So I thought that was hilarious.
I'm just joking about that, Greg F. Don't get mad. I'm just joking. I know you're a big stock
Then
guy.
We get a hurt people segment.
I want to know what your thoughts are about that, by the way, about that stock. Go ahead. Hurt people. Dude, we hurt people. in the promo, the crowd's chanting, "We hurt
Yes!
people. We hurt people." Why don't they have shirts? Do they have shirts that say "We hurt people"? Why don't they have that as their tagline when he cut a promo? We're not here to make friends. We're here to hurt people. Turn the CM Punk thing around. We're not here to make friends. We're here to hurt people.
I love everything that this team is doing. Every time they're on TV, it's gold. Every segment that they have is gold. They need more TV time. I don't need to have a 10-minute video with them. I need to have 3 videos of about 3 to 5 minutes sprinkled in the show throughout the night, showing them going backstage and kicking the shit out of Herman Munster or fat ass Mark Davis or whoever you got sitting around back there. Munster. That's what I need.
Munster. That's great.
That's what I need. More of that, please.
I love it when Shelton Benjamin gets in the ring with Lashley and they look across the ring at who they're facing, and Shelton's got that look on his face like,
"Are you serious, bro? This is the thing we're doing today?"
Right. This is what we're going to do. I love it.
Anywho, Monet comes out and does her little dance, and Billy Starks is going to be her opponent with no entrance. She's just standing in the ring like a dope. "I'm here. Are we going to have the match now? Let's do this."
No explanation who Billy Starks is.
No, none.
None of that. No explanation how she is the protege of Athena, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She's strictly on Ring of Honor. None of that. Her ring gear looks like it didn't fit. It could have been somebody else's ring gear they loaned her. Ashen Chevalier, thanks you for the 5-spot, Ashen. AEW blew it with more wrestlers than Jim from American Pie. Yes.
That's harsh. But true.
Harsh.
By the way, American Pie, one of the greatest coming-of-age comedies ever.
Literally.
It definitely that was my generation. I thought it was tremendous. So I felt everything in that movie. I never fucked a pie, though.
No?
No.
What about a croissant?
Oh, God.
2 Pop-Tarts?
Anyway,
No?
I do have a question for you on this, though. Mercedes Moné hits a backstabber in the middle of this match. She hits that move so well every time she does it. Why is that not her finish? It looks way better than her actual finish, and I buy that finish. A little skinny chick slamming her knees into my spine, I can see how that would jack you up.
The Monet maker is like you're laying flat on a coffee table and you just rolled off. That's what it's like.
Yes.
Do you get knocked out from that? Are you so incapacitated from rolling off a coffee table onto the floor that you can't get up? You're knocked out. She thinks that's a great move. Everything she does is horrible. Horrible. It's horrible. She's Mercedes Moné. She was doing that shit last night when he trotted her back out for a promo backstage. She started throwing the A's at the end of her words. She stopped. She must have called herself.
So she's pulled a Triple H from the early 2000s?
Yes. She's got that. She's got that Cardi B kind of talk cadence to her voice.
Oh, my Lord.
Keep TK's dick away from Creative Pie, pal. I think that dick's already been in the Creative Pie, pal, if you know what I'm saying,
Mark, you have no idea the nerve you just hit with Johnny Bottles right now. He has been raging in the cage on the phone with me. The things he says about Tony Schiavone off air cannot be touched with a flamethrower. To say he's not a fan
He's talking about TK right now. He's not talking about Tony Schiavone.
I know. Okay. Sorry. I read that wrong then. At first, I saw TS and I thought it was Schiavone. So thank you very much, Mark. We appreciate you.
I'm sure Schiavone's sitting there with a raging boner watching the show, commentating on Dynamite. Tony Schiavone's jealous of a stiff breeze, pal. That's all I'm going to say.
Scully, I see you, pal. We're going to get to you in a minute. No, we haven't talked about it, but I am going to throw you up there to talk about it some more.
Tell Scully to go shit in his hat. Go ahead.
Why are you being mean to Scully?
I'm aggravated with having to watch this show every Wednesday.
Well,
AEW Dynamite, pal.
We have to watch it so they don't have to. That's our job on this show, Bottles. That's our job.
Go ahead, pal. What do we got?
Next, we got the Outrunners doing a March Madness segment.
Scully vibes. What's up, Don? Salute the Bottles. Did you all review that bad spot and the unnecessary
We're getting there, buddy.
Table? We're slowly making our way up Garbage Mountain right now. But
I am going to ask you about the corner table here in a minute.
I see Darby Allin up on Garbage Mountain. with his. Oh, he doesn't have his boots on. Jordan Gray's supposed to be running around with him. Go ahead.
MJF MVP recap, and MJF is shown backstage in what I could only describe as a bronze haze of lotion and lust.
He looked like a chimney sweep.
He really looked awful.
He looked like he was in a chimney all day.
It was horrible looking. You could see the glaze on his face like he ran through a bad makeup. Like, how is your makeup this bad in this company right now?
He looked like a chocolate donut in a case at Circle K that's been sitting there for 2 days. That's what he looked like. He looked horrible.
Someone asked this on Twitter, and this isn't me, but could you accuse him of blackface with what he had on? I didn't think it was that bad, but it was pushing a line, pal.
It's a sloppy spray tan, pal. It's like they gave him too much spray tan. Horrible.
Horrible.
But at least he's not yellow like Adam Cole.
Well, here's my other part about this promo. At least he wasn't screaming the whole time.
That's true.
Thank God. And he said
it and all this other stuff.
Yes.
Blowing the fingers up. Yeah, at least he had a little more restraint. Which just goes to show he's got respect for MVP.
When he wants to.
When he wants to, yes. I wouldn't mind seeing him in the Hurt Business. Why not? Put him in there. Put him in the Hurt Business.
Scully, we're coming up on the segment you want to talk about next, so be ready, pal. I want to ask you about the corner table spot. So he says he'll give MVP his answer next week. So I like this, right? This was a good promo. Mm-hmm. It was a good preview. It gave you a reason as a fan of this product to come back next week because, oh shit, we're going to get this answer. And I'm really intrigued by this because personally, this is just me, I would love to see him join the Hurt Business. I would love to see them go after the 3-man titles. I think that's a great thing to have on his resume, right? To be in the Hurt Business, go get the 6-man titles. That would be amazing. You've got the tag team titles and the 6-man titles all in the same faction.
Who's the face? Are they faces or are they heels? He's a heel.
I think they're heels.
The Hurt Business is their heels?
Yeah, they ran the Outrunners at the pay-per-view, remember? Then they're clearly faces. And if you put MJF in there, you solidify them as heels. Solidify it. Because I hate it, but they get cheered because they look like guys that will legitimately kick the shit out of you if you looked at them funny. They've got the look. They've got the look.
Are you saying Turbo Floyd from the Outrunners doesn't have the look?
Oh, he's got a look, pal.
He's got a look, pal. Outrunners, great gimmick. What they need to do is bring them out sparingly. The Outrunners.
It's time. We have to talk about the street fight.
What a show,
I hope
Don.
you're ready for this.
What a show this was, Don.
Why does Moxley have to have that goofy-ass moronic walk?
He's got to prove that he's the toughest guy. And he did it on his own. He didn't need the Dean Ambrose mantle. The stink of Dean Ambrose is still on him when he came over. He thinks that's all gone now. But actually, people on Twitter are saying, I miss Dean Ambrose. I wish Dean Ambrose would come back. I saw that in 3 tweets today.
So they legitimately have no idea he's still wrestling. That's great.
No, they know.
I don't know.
All the GIFs or GIFs, whatever you want to call it, of him having the thing stuck in his back, and like 5 people can't get it out. And people wrote underneath of that, they quote tweeted, "I miss Dean Ambrose. I wish Dean Ambrose would come back."
Has there ever been a guy that's? I mean, he's the world champion, but it feels like he's fallen all the way from grace.
He's an indie garbage wrestler, is what he is. Always has been, always will be. When he was
at his heart, he is. At his heart, he is.
When he was in WWE, Vince pulled the reins back on this guy, saying, "You're not doing this, you're not doing that." When he was going to wrestle Lesnar for the belt,
yeah, Brock.
Brock said,
famously,
"Yes, we're not doing that shit."
Famously, he's telling him all these ideas. Frickin' Brock looks at him and goes, "I'm not doing that shit. Are you stupid? Look at me. You think for 1 minute I'm going to sell you cutting me open with a pizza slicer? Are you out of your mind? Are you in your skull? Go hump a goat."
You want to take a box cutter to my taint? No, that's not happening, pal.
No.
I'm gonna kick your ass. It's going to be F5, back suplex. You could try to do your Death Rider DDT on me, and I'm going to throw you into the ropes. You could bounce back. I'm going to give you a clothesline, and then it's going to be F5, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Done.
Enjoy the lights because you're going to see them all night, pal.
Absolutely. It's just a joke. What he's doing right now, and he doesn't realize it, is he's ruining the public perception. Even the people who are AEW Cheetos sexuals.
Oh, yeah, dude, they hate this
They
now.
hate John Moxley and the Death Riders angle. They can't stand it. They cannot stand it.
By the way,
and they
I want
want
to
it
give
to end.
I want to give a quick shout out to Awful Wrestling because he put all of the bumps that Edge Cope put in this match. I think it was a total of like 6 bumps he took.
That's what you told me, yes. Match. I didn't see the tweet, but yeah, he took 6
It was
bumps.
amazing. Awful, great work, pal. That was amazing.
6
Awful's a
bumps.
part of the show. Love following him. If you're not following him, he's one of the best handles to watch or to follow if you like wrestling. Anyway, I want to get to this because this match happened and we got to cover this.
So how did Edge look in this match, going into this match? How did he look?
Stiff. He looked stiff.
He looked very stiff,
like
he could hardly move. He's got the gray hair. He's got the gray beard.
Shit, did Ric Flair really just die?
What?
Breaking news. I hope not.
What?
No, I got nothing on it, but if it's true, that's horrible. I hope not. I don't see this. So,
wait a minute.
Anyway.
No, it can't be. Let me refresh my Twitter feed.
I got nothing on that.
Because if it's not on Twitter, it's not true.
Well, no. If you've got it, send us the clip or send us where you got it from. We'll talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Edge match because I don't know if that's true or not.
What, the Edge match?
No, that really happened because they get into the back of a semi truck. Bottles, the fans will tell us that. Just you ain't got to look for it, pal.
I'm all fired
up.
The
group
now,
chat will tell us.
I see nothing about Ric Flair being dead.
Okay, well I don't see it either. So
was it his liver dead or just him dead?
And that is a very good question
because the liver's 143. That's how old the liver is.
Anyway, we're going to go back to this match. So they get to the back of a pickup truck. Did you notice the chair shot that Edge gave? I mean, not the chair shot, but the guitar shot that Edge gave Moxley in the damn truck. It looks like he barely tapped him, and that thing exploded. It was that balsa wood bullshit, and it just came apart.
Balsa wood with baby powder, I think they put into it to have that dust fly around. That's what it is. It's, yeah. Pal.
Here you go. Mark K has submitted some money tonight, so here you go.
See, says he's drunk in Tampa.
He's an Egyptian.
That's a stretch.
He's an Egyptian.
He's an Egyptian. The Egyptian guy back in behind the bar. I'll take
anyway, the street fight goes on.
Crawl up my leg.
Edge misses throwing a trash can. Did you see him?
Are we going to go down every shitty
No, man. What is wrong with you?
I'm
talking about what happened that went Botchamania style. He threw a trash can at a man and totally missed. You didn't see it. Okay. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Mox will not leave his feet in this match, by the way. When they were coming down the hallway and he got quote unquote thrown up against a box, he went, like he hit it. His head didn't even move down. It didn't even move down.
No.
So I don't know where this was going.
There were more bumps in Super Mario World than what he took in that.
Yeah, dude, seriously. 2 chops and Mox no sells because he's the tough guy. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Just absurd. Just you can chop me, but I'm not going to sell it. We once again got the claw spot where the wrestler rakes their nails down Mox's back. For some reason, Moxley keeps getting this done to him, and I'm starting to wonder if that's sort of his thing.
That's a good point. He might enjoy that. Maybe the wife does that at home. Renee Baguette.
Mox, we get yet another forearm exchange from hell that I don't really care to watch. And then we get a bat, whatever it's called, Bertha, Betty, Hobat, whatever, with all the nails in it, where they're all the nails had been cut off at this point in time and dulled down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I get it. They could still penetrate your skin, but they had been dulled down because, of course, we have to have a moment where he gets nailed in the guts with it. And then he gets, was it a suplex? It was a suplex, right? Where he got suplexed.
He got thrown down back first on top of it from a 6-foot height. A 250-pound man hit that. Naturally, some of it's going to penetrate your skin. Naturally, it's going to happen.
So he gets up, and the bat is stuck in his back. And, of course, the sick bastards have to zoom in to show that it's there. And it shows them trying to pull it out. And his skin is just pulling with it. And out comes Wheeler Useless, who decides he's going to get involved now and try to help him. But, oh, yeah, by the way, we've got a table spot over here I've got to get to. Ref, can you pull the bat out of my friend's back? I've got to go over there. Why is the ref interfering in this shit at all?
Did you see Moxley look over his shoulder and tell Wheeler, go do the spot?
Yeah.
And Wheeler jumped out of the ring and went and got the table outside
Yes.
the ring, all set. If you notice, when they were pulling that thing out of his back, if you look at it again, go back and rewind it and take a look. There's a
I am not watching that again.
In the middle of that bat, in the middle of those spikes, there's a red pole that goes through the middle. I don't know whether it's filled with fake blood or what have you. It might very well be. But Moxley didn't need fake blood. He was actually punctured in his back. He's lucky he didn't get
moment.
He's lucky he didn't get a severe spinal injury. He may have, for all we know. Who knows?
This was the most repulsive scene I've seen on live TV in a long time from a wrestling standpoint. And I can't imagine that the executives at Warner Brothers Discovery, or whatever the hell it's called now, sat back and went, we're very proud of this product. Why don't we show this to everyone we can when they come through and see what we're all about? It's just horrible, Bottles.
It is.
It was horrible, pal.
It's terrible.
And then to add on, if this match couldn't get any shittier, they said, bring out the Cracker Clan now and have them all beat up Edge. Let's have a whole big schmaz finish to this unbelievable shit show that we have put everybody here to see tonight.
Pac.
And here they all come.
Cesaro, even Marita Shafir got some licks in.
Yes.
On Edge. And just see when Cesaro got out of the ring, he got a chair, and he moved so slow to the ring. Like, I'm thinking, why would he run into the ring? Why is he walking like he's got like Frankenstein boots on? And he's waiting for the music to play for FTR.
Yes, exactly.
The cue was late, or he was ahead of the game. I don't know what. He was either too early. Mark K with another thin. At this point, safer for Mox to get run over by a rolling hot dog stand driven by Dean Ambrose. For God's sake, that hot dog had a family. Missy, rub my foot. Go ahead.
It just devolved because everything on this show ends up being the same thing every week. It always devolves into chaos. It reminds me of the end of WCW where we're just going to have everybody run out at the end of this bullshit. And no one will remember it in a week, we hope.
It's like a kid who grows up in a house where mom and dad are constantly fighting all the time. They're throwing hands. They're breaking glass. They're beating on the walls. The father's punching his fist through a window. And the kids get so anesthetized to this. It's like, they're fighting again. Let's go back and play
This is
Xbox.
normal behavior.
Let's go in the room and play Xbox or Nintendo Wii or whatever. Who cares? Let's go back there. I just anesthetized to it, and none of it means anything anymore. None of this means anything.
It doesn't.
None of it.
So outruns FTR. No one gives a shit about any of that. I don't care. Once again, we get a shitty choke out finish on Edge. I'm going to call him Edge because it's just easier. Because Cope sucks. That name is ass.
He doesn't want to get pinned. He doesn't want to tap out. So they're doing the old gimmick over and over again where he just passes out in the chokehold. Just passes out. And he had to do this send-off like he was at WrestleMania. And he's going into the sunset of his career. It took him 10, 15 minutes to get out of the goddamn ring. It did. It took him forever to get out of the ring. Scud with a 5. I'm not concerned with the violence. They just never have a good match around it. You are correct, sir. They don't know how to book a good match around it. He leaves he puts the matches together. The hot dog stand put ketchup on the hot dogs. Yes, it does, and they're delicious, I hear. But anyway.
You are never living this down with
I don't give a
Larry.
shit. I'll put the ketchup on the hot dogs, the barbecue sauce. I don't give a shit. I like ketchup on hot dogs. So sue me. Ketchup and relish. That's what I like on my hot dogs, you son of a bitch. You godless bastard.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
All I could say is you get so numb to this bullshit. And none of it means anything anymore.
None of it matters.
Means anything. None of it matters. And all they've done is devalue the stars that they got, like Moxley.
Yes.
And Edge, FTR, guys who know what to do, guys who can wrestle. But Edge does not want to give up the spotlight. He doesn't want to give up the limelight. He's no better than a man who's now won Ring of Honor television. The Ring of Honor champ, Chris Jericho.
And Scott, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why we detest the match so much, was because there was no lead up to this shit. It just suddenly happened. It was just suddenly there's a bat in the ring.
Oh, the lead up?
Just suddenly.
Oh, they've been feuding for months now. Edge and Cope and Mox, and they've been feuding for months. It's a blood feud. You don't understand. That's what they'll all say.
So Scott might be onto something. Here we go. Scully's coming in hot.
Edge should just call it quits. Yeah, ketchup is definitely over on a glizzy. Gotta be, pal. And there's when you walk into a 7-Eleven, you know that hot dog. You're in there 8 o'clock at night. You know that hot dog's been in there for a good 12 hours, just rolling around those rollers. You gotta throw some ketchup on that sucker. Absolutely.
Anyway, the end of this thing ended up with Bald FTR getting pissed off at Edge, and they got into a little tussle.
And Gun FTR tried to get him to come back.
Yes.
And they went up slapping the hands of Gun FTR. And Gun said, "What do we go after my glove box? We'll take care of this."
You're a dick.
But Edge wanted to shake hands with Bald. Now, Bald and Gun are at odds over the relationship they have with Edge.
Go ahead and put out the rumor that you heard.
This is the rumor that I have heard. I have heard that Bald and Gun FTR are going to argue back and forth. And Gunn is going to try to have another one just made the list. The Black Lab. Yes.
This feud, the ketchup on a hot dog feud is real in the chat, man. It's hilarious to me. And it's
you know what's really good? Ketchup and onions and relish and sauerkraut. Oh, and my God, FTR. That's so good. And Bald FTR. Yes. Sauerkraut's always good on Bald FTR. You ever have a Bald FTR just when it comes off the grill? No?
I cannot help.
Anyway, it's going to be Bald FTR and Gun FTR, and they're going to try to reconcile. Gun's going to try to get Bald to reconcile with Edge, and they're going to have a match. They're going to have a match with the Death Riders, and Gun and Bald are going to turn on Edge, and you're going to make the save. So you're going to have Edge and Christian as faces versus FTR.
Everything you're saying right now, I don't like any of it.
I don't like any of it either, pal, but that's what I heard is going to happen. And that's what's going to happen. That's what they're going to do, unless Tony's listening to this and throws a curveball out there. I heard he goes and just checks for any AEW references on YouTube and videos. And just goes on there and sees what people are saying about the product.
Well, here we go, because here's what they're saying. Bandito is Renee Moxley good. Renee Moxley good. I can say it. You can say it. And in comes Johnny Nitro, Johnny TV, Johnny Chess Player. They're going to have a feud like we talked about earlier. There's nothing to cover here.
It's not a feud. These aren't feuds. These aren't feuds. These are just random matches.
Okay, whatever you want.
None of this shit leads up that there was a feud. All these. I'm
not harping on it. You are. I'm just running right past it. I'm running right past it. Like a speaker in New York City. I'm running past it.
Great promo by Bandito, by the way. Let's everybody put a Walmart plastic bag over your head.
Look at my balls. I got to go.
We've hijacked this show again. Put a plastic Walmart bag over your head and try to do a promo. That's what it sounded like to me. Amigo. It was horrible.
So out comes Osprey and the Ocean Spray. I'm going to go back to calling him Ocean Spray because they show his entire 2025 record. This was the second time I noticed the record thing. And I don't understand why they're showing. It does. I'm not saying it does, but the fucking randomness of it all is what's so frustrating. There's no point in any of that. Why is it there?
Don, if it's random, you're going to love the opponent from Will Osprey. That's a big random moment right there. AR Fox, everybody.
Again with this guy. This guy's like a hidden puppet or something in your room. You forget it's there. Every time you look, you're like, oh, yeah, I was a kid once. I don't understand the AR Fox thing. And here's my...
Mom, that puppet keeps staring at me while I'm laying here in bed. You know what he said? He said he was a kid once. What? What, Joey? What?
Again,
I was a kid once.
This is my thing, and I wanted to ask, because we brought this up before, and I don't understand it. Why do they treat Ocean Spray like a regular 9-to-5 grocery clerk? They put him on TV and have him have a match every week. I don't understand the thought process. Or every other week. You've seen CM Punk wrestle, what, 2 times on television all year? Maybe 3?
But CM Punk cuts promos. Can you sit through a Will Ospreay mumble mouth promo, bruv?
Someone help him learn to do one.
Someone help him learn English. I don't understand it. Roosh can put on a promo better than Bill Ospreay. Bill Ospreay's terrible. That's my new name for him now. Bill Ospreay. Billy Ocean Spray.
And again, why is it with every Ocean Spray match, he has to have a struggle of life and death, and he has to sell so much? Can he just not come out and kick the shit out of somebody?
Come on now.
Hit him 1, 2, 3?
We got on him for not selling. Now he's selling. And now you hate the selling?
AR Fox. Why are you selling to AR Fox?
These matches with bums, and I'll say it, AR Fox is a bum. He's a Barry Horowitz of AEW. AR Fox is. Just have the match be over in 3 minutes. Boom,
yes,
boom, 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 boom.
beat his ass and get out of there.
The reason why AEW can't get any drama, they can't, except for behind the scenes, of course, they can't build any feuds, they can't get you interested in the product, is because they don't build a feud. Look at Mercedes Moné, Don. You can't get invested in Mercedes Moné whatsoever.
Random.
It's all random matches. I want to wrestle Momoa Watanabe. Some random.
You know what? Do you know what Momo said when she said she wanted to wrestle her?
What'd she say?
Oh, you can.
Oh, you can.
Direct quote. I'm going to just
Momo
run
did
through
jack
this.
her up. She did kick her in the larynx, bruised her
She
larynx in real life, gave her a big bruise on the side of her face because she wouldn't cooperate in the match with Momo the Wolf Girl. But there's no build up for these matches with Monet. There's no feud started. The feuds, feud lasts on Dynamite to Collision, and then it's over at the pay-per-view. That's it. 1 week. On to the next challenger. Why don't they build it up? Build it up. Why does Monet not want to challenge Toni Storm for that belt when she's got all the other belts in the company? And it looks like she's going to get the Ring of Honor belt from Athena.
By the way, Ric Flair is not dead. The troll is gone. So there you go.
Ric Flair's not dead? Okay.
No. Caribbean Queen. Now we're sharing the same dream. And our hearts still beat as one. No more love on the run. Billy Ocean Spray.
Ocean Spray. Jesus.
I got it.
I wonder where you were going with that. Billy Ocean Spray. We've got a young man here. He's an up-and-comer. Billy Ocean Spray, everybody. Billy Ocean Spray.
He comes out with that song would be
He comes
fire.
out with that would be epic if he came out. Or Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car.
Yes.
They could play that when Ocean Spray comes out.
Anyway.
Ocean Spray gets a pop. Ocean Spray. Let's break this down, though. Ocean Spray gets a pop when he comes out.
Yes, he's over with this audience.
But they don't know how to book a feud for Ocean Spray. They don't know how to book a feud for anybody. The only thing that could turn this company around is if Tony Khan gets taken out of the booking decisions
entirely.
He can sign the checks.
Entirely.
He can say, this is the matches I want. Let's get to these matches. That's what they do in WWE or any other wrestling company. I want these matches, these feuds. How can we get there? And they break it down.
Well, that's the
over a
whole
month or
thing.
2
And we
months.
talked about this earlier, right? So,
Yeah.
by the way, Ocean Spray won. I want to cover this real quick. But we talked about this earlier.
Who didn't know that?
No shit. But we talked about this earlier. They have teased so many matches in the WWE. Let's just talk about CM Punk. He's had issues with Logan Paul. That's there. He's now got an issue with Seth Rollins still. That's still there. He has an ongoing feud with Drew McIntyre. That's something else they can go back to in a few months. He's about to get into a match with Roman Reigns, the entire bloodline. There's history there. There's all kinds of storylines that they can throw in there and just run with. There's no connective tissue for Monet. There's none. And I want to bring this up because they bring back with Renee's in the back with Monet, and they show her record of 16-0. Again, the randomness of the records. Renee is with Perm Page. Why does he have a perm? Why does the cowboy shit have a perm now? That's the most uncowboy shit I've ever seen in my life.
Unless he's a brokeback cowboy, Don.
I'm not going down that road. That's all on you, because then we get Megan Bain versus...
It's a dirt road.
Well, it's your girl, so you tell me.
Who?
Megan Bain versus...
Female Thor?
Strike Leather.
Female Thor comes out. Strike Leather?
Strike Leather.
Christopher Strike Leather was in this match?
What? I don't give a shit what her name is.
I'm sure Christopher likes Strike Leather would love to wrestle Megan Bain.
I wrote this down and said I don't give a shit because the most interesting part is what happened at the end of this match.
Statlander and Megan Bain were tag team partners on the Indies, both big Amazon women. Why you wouldn't mention that on TV, I don't know. Why wouldn't you have the first feud be Megan Bain and Statlander? I don't know. I don't know why you would throw this match, Chris Stikelether. Why? I don't know why you wouldn't have this match on a pay-per-view, build up to it. I don't know why. Where Megan Bain could actually say, I never liked her when we were tag partners. I hated her. I hated you, Chris. I never liked you at all. You're the reason why we would lose matches. That's what they could do. They could do that. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. I don't know why they wouldn't have Megan Bain talk. Does she sound horrible? I don't know. By the way, Megan Bain is the girlfriend of Joey Janela, the great Joey Janela, everybody. The man who set his foot on fire for a super kick at an indie show.
And then they couldn't put it out.
They couldn't put it out. They hosed it off with water. They couldn't put it out because he dipped, what was it, kerosene, gasoline he poured on his wrestling boot?
I don't give a shit.
I don't know. He was jumping around like he was like his ass is on fire. But why would you build Statlander versus Bain first?
This fast, out the gate, didn't give it a pay-per-view. You should have had her squash the shit out of, I don't give a damn who. Abdullah Oblongata. Have her fight her in a match because that's a big girl. Have her beat her ass. There's
quick matches.
Girls
quick matches. Don't make it look like it's a hard thing. Don't make it look like it's a hard-fought match. Who gives a shit about Queen Aminata? Nobody does. Who gives a shit about...
It's Abdullah Oblongata.
Abdullah Oblongata. Who gives a shit about Serena Deeb? She's a great wrestler, but nobody gives a shit about her in this company. If you would have... Bring back Britt Baker. Have Britt Baker come in and do a job.
Where the hell is Britt Baker, by the way?
Persona non grata in this company. Dude. Just like Camille. She said the wrong
We're going to talk about that in a minute, so save that. Save that.
You got to build up feuds to make them mean something. Make the matches mean something. Build up a feud. Get my interest. Just don't have mayhem and broken glass and spikes in the back and blood at every single goddamn match and jumping off the top of cages.
I agree.
Because all it does is devalue those moments where, they come off the top of the cage again. Oh, this guy's bleeding again. That's the third match on this show where somebody's bleeding. Oh, here comes the fourth match. A guy comes out. He's walking down the ring bleeding. And we lost Don.
You can't see me. My time is now.
His time is now. I just don't understand why they can't build up matches in this company. Why they can't.
I don't get
this.
it either. Anyway, we're going to close this out because in comes the best part of the show. The AEW Women's Champion. You're a fan. I'm a fan. Tony Storm. Clotheslines are over the ring, and she gets on the microphone and says, "Goodness,
First, Statlander got thrown into Tony. Yes. And then Statlander was done after that. You never saw her again.
She's done. You never saw her again. There's nothing to talk about. When she gets in the ring, she being Tony Storm, clotheslines the Amazon broad out, gets on the microphone and says, "Goodness, you are a big bitch." And I popped. I said, "Line of the night, go home. Go home." And then she said the other line, "The bigger they are, the harder they come." I was like, what the hell, lady?
She's going to rip her tits off, she said.
She's depraved.
Depraved.
Crazy ass lady.
Unbelievable.
The end of the show was the best part of the show to me. Sorry, but it was. That will make some people want to watch. However, the Spike Bat bullshit will make people not want to watch.
And I take that back. Chris Statlander, you did hear from her again after she was thrown to the Tony Storm. She was put back in the ring. And Bane said, "Watch this," as she pinned Statlander with that F5 move she's got. So Megan Bane looks like a hard hitter, but that face of hers, the expression never changes.
Anyway, we're gonna move on
changes.
because Camille has gotten mentioned today in an interview with Tony Khan, and we've all been wondering where the hell is Camille. Camille looks like $1 million. I'm sorry,
she's great. Everything's
her
great.
and Megan Bane look very similar in their build. They're both very tall women. They're very built, but they're not overly steroided. You know what I mean? And this is what Tony Khan said. I guess the proverbial we, man, don't know who attacked Camille. The last time we saw her, she was attacked. We know she had a breakup with Mercedes and her business relationship. Mercedes has flourished, but with Camille, we haven't seen her since she was attacked, and we're not sure who that was. So the thought process here is that supposedly going to be the Bailey chick. T-Move Beth Phoenix. That's the thought process.
Bailey chick? You mean it's supposed to be Megan Bane who beat up Camille?
Megan Bane, sorry, dude. Get over it. I don't know her name, and I don't care. She's T-Move Becky. I'm sorry, she is Beth Phoenix. I'm sorry, she is. She does the whole crown thing, all of it. It looks like she literally carbon copied her to me. It just does.
Well, she's young, and she probably did. That was probably a big influence on her life, in her wrestling career. But it's a battle right there. Even the guy who interviewed Tony said it'd be a great matchup to have Megan Bane versus Camille. And
yeah,
Tony,
they mentioned it, which
that would be great.
Yeah,
that would be fantastic. That'd be great.
Do you have a powder room?
He's just the worst. He is the worst.
There's also news.
I watched that shit. I scrubbed forward until somebody actually mentioned Camille.
And that's when it got interesting. That's when it got interesting.
3/4 of the way through that interview, the guy only asked him 3 questions, but everything's great. Great. AEW is great. Moxley's great. Edge is great. Kenny Omega's great. AEW
you know what's not great?
Max is great.
You know what's not great?
What's not great?
The neckbeards crying because the WWE just announced their European tour in August.
Okay.
Which is directly competing with AEW.
All in.
They are upset and mad about it. If you want the smoke, don't be surprised when they come looking for you. Tony Khan famously said there's only room in the wrestling business for one Khan. Well, pal, I got news for you.
It ain't you.
Vince McMahon is out and the new ownership is in, and they're not jerking around. By the way, TKO announced, did you see this last week? I don't know if we talked about it or not. They're in the boxing business now, too. They're coming into the boxing business because they recognize that UFC is a very niche sport, but they can revitalize the boxing business.
Good.
Get all of the main guys, get all the main contenders, and get rid of this bullshit-ass WBC, IBF, WBO, MTV, IBOTC, all that shit. Get rid of all of it. Just say, you're the champion. You fight the number one contender every 5 months, and that's how it's going to be. Not
Great
this,
stuff.
you're going to take a year off. This is what it's going to be.
Ashton Chevalier with another $5.
Oh, shit!
The favorite method of torture in Guantanamo Bay is being made to watch an entire episode of Collision. You may be onto something there, pal.
You are on to something there, pal.
I
we
would
appreciate
watch that.
you all very much. By the way, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. We hope you like the new format of the show. We are enjoying it as well, by the way.
I wouldn't watch Collision with Don's eyes.
I wouldn't watch it with your penis eyes.
Penis eyes.
Caribbean Queen. There's also been a big announcement this week.
I've got penis eyes.
Oh my God.
They're so tiny I can't disguise, but look in my penis eyes.
Size.
Dirty
Get your
Dancing.
penis in a peanut inside.
It'd be a new song by the great Eric Carmen, Penis Eyes. Dirty Dancing. Well, it is Dirty Dancing, pal.
If South Oh, this has gone to shit fast. Well, actually slow. It's an hour and a half. We did well. There is a new rumored Hall of Fame member in the WWE. Motorhead, I hope you're watching at some point in time, because Kamala is rumored to be that guy. Why he's not in by now
She
is
couldn't win the election.
She
couldn't win the election. They're going to put her in the Hall of Fame.
Kamala.
She lost the presidential election. Let's put her in the Hall
Kamala.
of Fame. Yes.
What's wrong with you, man?
We're going to unburden what has been and what is unburdened.
No, we're going to talk about the real Kamala. The guy was an absolute money guy. I loved him.
James Kamala Harris.
By the way,
who did the design on his belly, by the way? Who was responsible for that?
I don't know that, actually.
Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh, shit, that's right. That's right.
Jerry the King Lawler came up with that design, and he just kept it ever since.
People don't realize how big that guy was in real life. You had to see him in real life in an actual match. I was fortunate enough to where I actually saw him a few times.
Sure.
That is a humongous human being, dude. That's a huge guy.
Big man. Unfortunately, diabetes eventually took his legs.
It took everything about him, yes. But I'm excited about that. There was also a interview this week with an ex-WWE semi-superstar.
Who could that be? Miro?
I'll give you a hint. He got a porn star pregnant.
Oh, the great Matt Riddle.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Matt Riddle
talked about his toughest opponents and the best opponents and sort of in between.
His toughest opponent was sobriety.
No, it wasn't actually.
No? Okay.
It was Peter North. He said that. Come on.
Yeah, dude, I was asleep and I felt like somebody laid something wet across my upper lip.
Stop.
I looked up and it was Pete standing there. I said, Pete, dude, what are you doing?
This dude was across the room, mind you.
It looked like he had a 2-foot glizzy in his hand. There's no catch up on that hot dog, pal.
Said, will you stop? What happened? He said Sheamus hit him the hardest out of everybody, but he was so easy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Said he was easy to get. I'll give you a guess, and I think you can get this.
Yes.
I think you can get this.
Yes.
He said the two hardest guys he ever had to work with, and it's hard to explain. It's just they were difficult to try to do anything with because you didn't know what the shit they were going to do. But there were two guys he talked about in this. Care to take a guess? I'll give you a hint.
Two hardest guys. Well, you already said Sheamus was one. Now,
that's the guy he loved. No, that's the guy he loved. He said he was easy to have a match with.
Sure. Bro, Ashton again for $2. Bro, Randy pissed in my bag a few times.
I'll give you a hint on who the two biggest assholes, essentially, he said. Oh, we got one. We got two.
What are they?
They're both Canadian. They both had a match recently.
In WWE.
Yep. They both had a match together recently.
Chelsea Green and
what in the shit, dude?
She's Canadian. No, go ahead. What? Who? I have no idea.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It makes sense though, doesn't it?
Yes.
Doesn't that make sense?
Well, what he said was, it's hard to finish a sentence around those guys because when you're working with them, they do all the talking. They got all the ideas. He
also said that they just want to go with whatever they are, and they don't want you to say shit about what you want to do. It's just, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do that, then I'm going to tag in Peter North, and you're going to get totally hosed from behind. Be ready.
If you ask Sami Zayn what time it is, he'll tell you how to build a clock. That's how much
Up
he loves
his ass
to talk.
with a hamster.
Yes. Vince couldn't stand a guy backstage. He just laughed at him the whole time because he's just always, everything's up for debate.
Listen to this guy, pal. He's so full of shit. I love it. We're not doing any of that.
Debate this, debate that. But hey, he gave Sammy one of his bigger pushes he's ever had in his life.
But that's all the news I got. What do you have? Because I know you got a few tidbits.
I've got the WWE.
Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, the ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling. We appreciate all of you guys and gals out there for watching every week. Really, we appreciate it like you wouldn't believe. We're trying to climb that mountain to 1,500 subs. Let's go, Team SCM. Tell your friends and family. Make your grandmother subscribe. We'll talk shit about her if you want. We'll throw your grandfather's medals off the bridge.
Are you done? Are you done now?
Are you going to give me a glizzy moment?
I'll tell you who wants a glizzy. Tony Khan probably wants a glizzy because will he release Sting? Will he let Sting?
Oh, you're going to do the Hall of Fame thing.
To the AEW equivalent of a Legends deal, whatever that is. We have no ideas what the parameters of that contract would be.
What do you think he's getting? Luger, no, I'm serious. What do you think he's making off of that?
Probably next to nothing. If he was making any money off that Legends deal through AEW, he would be going to conventions to do signings
but
the way he looks now with the gray hair.
It's 6 figures?
6 figures? Hell no. Yeah. Hell no.
You think it's 5?
Probably 5 figures.
I would bet it's around $70,000 a year.
I was just thinking the same thing. That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is.
The meatloaf!
Lex Luger needs an inductor for the Hall of Fame, and he wants Sting to do it.
Yes, he does. But here's the thing. Does it really matter? The internet dorks are making a thing over this, Bottles, and I don't give a shit. I do not give a shit if they induct him with Stephanie McMahon. I do not care.
Who cares?
He's a shell of who he was.
Right. And he was a prick in real life.
And he was all of a sudden,
he had a spinal stroke, and then he's found God because he had a spinal
stroke. And I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
Jim Cornette has a famous quote on this. Mm-hmm. It's amazing that every asshole you ever have to work with in the wrestling business suddenly find God when no one will talk to them. It's the same outcome every time.
DiBiase,
and he's not wrong.
DiBiase, Shawn Michaels. Who else?
Jake the Snake. He was on that riff for a while.
He was on that road for a while.
He got off of that when he started. I believe in God. I'm going to smoke some crack later. You want to go with me?
Going back to
the room. Piss.
I'll show you my snake. Come on back.
By the way, the show that if anybody has not seen Beyond the Mat, the movie from the late 90s, you got to see that movie.
Great movie.
You will understand why people detest Jake the Snake. You really will.
And it's a good look, a good snapshot of the way things were on the road in smaller wrestling companies as well as the larger wrestling companies and the indie scene back then. It's a great snapshot of the way things used to be before you just had 2 big companies right now and people getting $250,000 a year starting out on the main rosters. Yes. So that's what's going on with Sting and Luger. It's all in limbo right now.
Yes, he was Ashton Chevalier. His father was a bastard.
Yes, he was. Pedophile.
By the way, Dark Side of the Ring, I think, starts this week.
Next week, yes. I think it does.
It's either this week or next week, yeah.
Well, it's is it Tuesdays or Wednesdays when that comes out? Tuesdays?
I don't know. They've moved it around so much I can't. It was Thursdays last time, wasn't it?
First episode is Mankind Undertaker Hell in a Cell.
Because that hasn't been done to goddamn death.
Well, they're going to go over all the intricate details of what happened backstage.
What part of Hell in a Cell don't you know about by now? I'm being dead ass honest here.
It's just all for the new kids, dude. This is all for the new people.
I've seen him getting the stitches in his head. I've seen the Vince McMahon interview with him. I've seen him greet him backstage. I've seen him looking like hell. Like it's just.
I like seeing Terry Funk get chokeslammed out of his high top sneakers.
The shoes came off.
The shoes flew off.
Hey, Vince, have you seen my shoes? The Undertaker chokeslammed the shit out of me.
Basically, if you haven't seen it,
when you see him, that his mother's a whore.
For those of you who haven't seen this match, Terry Funk and Mankind were good friends and
best friends.
best friends, and because he was an idol of Mick's, and they even tagged together as Terry was Chainsaw Charlie. It's another thing to see. He had baby powder on his head.
You're right.
And if Jake does a fine guide, cover religious promos,
You're
we
right.
don't get Austin 316. That's also true. Mankind fell through the top of the cage. He was in bad shape.
That was
the
not
doctors are all
scripted.
out. That was not
That
scripted.
was not planned.
Just the cage,
teeth
just a lot of
were in
beef
his
up there.
nose.
A lot of heavy people on top of that cage. Anyway, Funk came out with the doctor.
Don't slam me out of my goddamn shoes, Vince.
He got into the Undertaker's face because the Undertaker had a broken ankle at the time during this match.
Yes.
And he shot it full of Novocaine. He climbed down off the top of the cage. The cage goes up. While he's climbing down, the cage is going up. And he drops down on his bad foot. He gets into the ring, and Terry Funk starts giving the
buying
Undertaker
time
looks
is what he said. He's buying time.
Buying
'cause
time
he
so they
knows
figure
he's
out whether.
screwed up.
Yes. And he picked up Terry Funk and chokeslammed him. And Terry Funk's high top sneakers flew off.
Flying.
And he went
My
down like he was
goddamn
shot.
shoes flew off, Vince. I look like an asshole. You can't do that to me. I'm an NWA legend. What the hell, Vince?
Oh my God. My dead horse felt that. Good Lord Almighty.
I gotta go home. My horse is sick. It's wearing my shoes.
Josh Alexander from TNA is signed to
Oh,
AEW, but he's Canadian, Don, don't you know? And all these people from out of other countries, they got some visa issues.
They got some visa issues, yes.
He's got to get his visa fixed. Got to get his visa straightened out, just like Jamie Hayter has a visa issue.
By the way, do you know I looked into this?
Yes.
And I figured out why all of these folks are having visa issues.
Mm-hmm.
They've expired and they didn't bother to renew them.
Of course, because they're living the life as a, working for an American company and touring the country and getting them paid
Sometimes
all
the
this money,
world.
and they forget all about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's coming down to is you got to renew it. Look, man, I want you guys to get it.
You get distracted, Don, just working one day a week. You know how it is. You work 5 days a week. You can't keep track of anything, can you?
I don't know what the hell's going on anymore.
Chris Bay, the wrestler.
What the hell is a Chris Bay?
Chris Bay is a wrestler who broke his neck, I believe, at a GCW show back in October of last year, and he was paralyzed from the neck down.
Oh,
temporarily.
shit, for real?
Temporarily, yeah. The doctor said you're only going to get about 15, 20% of your movement back. You won't walk again. He's walking, he's talking, he's moving his arms and legs.
Good for him.
He's not wearing a collar. He's in good shape, and
that's a feel good moment. I'm glad that's happened. Man.
Feel good moment. They were going to have a benefit show for him for his FSW was going to have a benefit show for Chris Bay, and Rey Mysterio, CM Punk, and Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd has a neck problem.
Really? Okay.
They wanted to work the show, but because of the current tour in WWE, they're overseas. They couldn't do it. They couldn't make it happen. Mysterio was even going to tag with Tyson Kidd.
I get
Tyson
the feeling
Kidd was going to wrestle.
Do you get the feeling this might be Mysterio's last WrestleMania?
Yes, I think so. I think he's on his way out the door. He said when he hits 50, he's going to retire. And he's 50.
It feels maybe like he's going to tag with his son.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of feel like we're going to have a story arc coming here soon. So I look forward to that.
And Eddie Kingston, if he doesn't get promoted on the taco truck to drive.
By the way, guy that dropped the Ric Flair nose tonight, you're an asshole.
Eddie Kingston is going to be cleared to return to the ring this summer. That's what they say. He will be cleared to return to the ring because they're Nostradamus, pal. They're all prognosticators.
Here we go again with this shit.
He's going to be cleared.
I told you this months ago. That knee is wrecked from a athletic perspective, just knowing what I know about guys in the NFL and their knees. When you have that kind of an injury and a broken leg, that's not a year injury. That's like a year and a half injury.
They've even floated it. Well, look at Charlotte Flair. She destroyed her day in that match against Asuka. Yeah. And she's just finally came back
she's
in
a
over
freak.
a year. Yes.
Allegedly, from what I read on the internet.
Hey now. And Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston's a freak for cream-filled cupcakes. So that's what you're looking at. Eddie with Eddie's making noise now that he's done. He's going to retire, which could be a 1 week angle. It will be a 1 week angle on AEW television. He'll retire on Wednesday. He'll talk about it again on Collision, and then at the pay-per-view on Sunday, he'll be back in the ring. That's probably.
I know what he's going to say. I'm retired. I can't do it anymore. Just bullshitting the buffets too much. I got to go.
WrestleMania World during WrestleMania week, Alexa Bliss is pulled out of making personal appearances.
I did know Alexa Bliss has been completely removed from any upcoming shows. You and I both had a theory. I didn't think she was back in this for the long haul. I felt like this was a payday, and I think she got the payday she was looking for, and she's like, thank you very much. I don't want to do this like that anymore.
Well, she's got a new contract. So apparently she's got less dates on a new contract. She's got a daughter with special needs. The growth plates in her head. She's had problems with the growth plates in her head. She's got to wear a helmet. A's are free for Burger King. Yes, he is.
I have seen, that's one of the best GIFs, whatever you want to say online
meme.
ever.
It's the
best ever. No, I've seen one where he's moving.
Oh, really? With the crown on? He's got the crown on his head?
No, they got the crown perfectly placed when he moves. It's hilarious.
So Alexa Bliss took to Twitter yesterday and said, I'm okay. I'm not hurt. Everything's fine. Everybody relax. That's what she said. She's probably going to have a moment at WrestleMania with the Wyatt Six. They're probably going to do that. Some bloodline. Always wanted to know, were y'all two in a tag team?
Tag team back again.
Whoop! There it is. What was that tag team
actually
that did that? Yes, we were.
We were a tag team previously in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was called Come Get It.
Come Get It. We were the Taint Brothers in Come Get It.
Yes. Yeah, well, that was in the Indies. We were the Taint Brothers.
Taint Brothers. Come get this taint. Yes. Lance Anawahi, Roman Reigns' cousin, supposedly, and Hikuleo are in the developmental
we got to talk about this. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the new, latest
bloodline signings. I'm not putting this chat on. Don't make me turn this chat on. I don't want to see any of this.
Jesus.
I'm not watching any what their madness that they're doing on this chat. 273 chat comments. Good Lord Almighty. 101 people watching this right now. Probably more.
I'm throwing this up because he put a couple bucks up and he's earned
Their
this.
finisher was the Eiffel Tower.
I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications
button. Are we talking about the bloodline members that suck, supposedly? We're going to talk about them.
We know who sucks.
Dirty Dave Meltzer supposedly says that they're not sure that Lance Anawahi is going to make it through the system. They don't think he's got what it takes, according to Dave.
I know
Meltzer.
one guy that's not going to make it. That's for sure. The two guys they signed are not good, pal.
Who's that?
Both of them.
What two guys they signed?
Both of them.
Both of those guys?
The only guy that's good,
is
Jacob. He is the money guy.
He's the money guy. Yes, he was a money guy.
The other two guys are clowns.
You mean?
It does. I'm not going to say their name because I don't give a shit. Because they don't take up my TV time on Fridays. You know what I mean? If I see them,
Tongaloa. Tongaloa's out hurt.
Tonga my nuts. I don't give a shit what they're called. Anyway, look.
Have you heard that?
Oh boy.
TNA is trying to get a bigger TV deal with a bigger network. Frankie Kazarian told JBL and Gerald Briscoe on their podcast, the internal focus for TNA right now currently is to secure a better TV deal on a bigger network. Okay. And Tyler Bate, Don, the big strong boy, is going to be coming back to Raw. He's been out hurt. I know you've been asking me. You just said, Don and I were talking the other day. He goes, whatever happened to that Tyler Bate guy? I used to like him.
There's a lot of things in life that has happened. That's not one of them. It's just not.
And the Jeff Jarrett MJF feud, they decided, this isn't working. Let's just end it. And that's what they did. That's why you haven't seen Jeff Jarrett on TV. Currently, right now, he's bathing his wife in the blood of virgins so she can live another century. That's what he's doing.
What the hell is wrong with you? I do want to give a shout out real quick. Big Trouble Ben Bishop.
Who the hell is that?
He is an indie performer. He is a monster of a man. He is a big ass dude. He is also a great Twitter follow. If you get a moment, look up his information. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. The dude trolls the nerds like you wouldn't believe.
Big Ben
It's
Bishop?
amazing. Yes.
Is he like Cuban Assassin 2 Junior?
No, dude, he's badass for real. Like, I like this guy. I'd like to interview this guy, to be honest.
Big Ben Bishop?
Yeah.
Never heard of Big Ben Bishop. Fun. I saw him at a Trader Vic's having a pina colada with Chris Bay.
Well, here's the thing. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button. Hit the ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling. We hope you had a good night. I know one guy that can't see me. Do you know?
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.